Senator Udall.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last week, I had the opportunity to travel New Mexico and do some rural economic development meetings, and our state USDA Rural Development State Director named Terry Bruner was there and announcing some of the grants that go out. And I can't tell you how important those grants are in terms of supporting rural communities, supporting economic development, and really pushing the envelope in terms of helping people be more connected in rural communities with the rest of the state. And so we really appreciate what you're doing. We know that the folks in rural New Mexico need support, need budget certainty, and need adequate resources to fund basic things like water infrastructure, housing, and high-speed internet, which is not a luxury nowadays, it's actually a necessity. So let me ask you, Madam Secretary, the USDA Rural Development Program is essential for addressing these unique needs, and I'm worried that sequestration and the proposed cuts will further obstruct recovery and development. The committee-passed bill provides $83 million less for rural development compared to the administration's request, and over $300 million less than was provided in 2010 due to unequal sequestration limits on domestic programs. What impact will these lower numbers have on your programs and, more importantly, on the families that rely on them?
Thank you, Senator Udall.
You bet.
I, too, share the concern. Any reduction in our programs hurts rural America. I see these programs. I'm out almost every week somewhere with state directors like you've seen. Every grant dollar that we are able to have a privilege to spend in rural America, I feel we can do it well. Similarly, the program levels of loan levels are being spent very, very carefully. It's a strong portfolio. So we appreciate anything you can do for our budget request. This is just essential funding for the development of our rural communities. And I would also say for the kind of state operation we have, you mentioned our state directors. You are supporting a field-based organization in rural development. We're not just a Washington organization. And that layer of support in every state makes us so unique and is just essential dollars for us. So I thank you for your concern. I share it.
Thank you, and you're absolutely right. One of the things that I think really works is with these state directors, they work creatively with rural communities in order to do the things that they need done, to become better communities, to get people more hooked up, whatever it is. And it's a good program, and it's a dramatic example of why we should be out of the sequester. I mean, this sequester hurts these rural communities, and we need to get back to adequate funding for these important programs. Now, Administrator McBride, I applaud your efforts in moving forward with the substantially underserved tribal areas, the SUTA loan program provisions in the Farm Bill. Thanks to this program, the Mescalero Apache Telecom Company was a recipient of a $5.4 million loan to make telecommunication improvements for thousands of rural customers. This type of investment is critical to ending the digital divide in tribal communities. And I'll never forget on this digital divide in tribal communities, when President Clinton tried to show the digital divide, he started out one day in Silicon Valley, and he ended up the day in Shiprock, New Mexico. And in Silicon, they're obviously wired. In Shiprock, he was introduced by a young lady who was a top student in the school in Shiprock, and she had won a computer, but she was unable to even have access with that computer to the internet. And so that highlighted the digital divide in this country. And so that's what that's why this program is so important, this substantially underserved tribal areas program, and I think we need to keep that strong. Can you describe for us the importance of loan programs such as SUTA and provide suggestions on ways we can expand on efforts to bring modern broadband infrastructure to tribal communities?
Thank you for the question, and I was in Mescalero in August. Terry Bruner, your state director, took me around, and it was a great project, and they're doing great work there. we're trying to increase our outreach efforts. It's certainly a priority for us to make sure that the tribal areas know about our programs and their availability. It's certainly a challenge expanding broadband into the most rural, most remote areas, but we believe that our partnership with the groups that we've worked with before is strong, and there may be ways that we can share some lessons learned that might help other tribal areas expand their access.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.